What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to another video today. As I said in my video beforehand, we're going to talk about this Pacers versus Celtics game. And I gotta be honest with you, as an avid analyst as I am, going with how much that I watch sports media and the big mainstream media outlets a la ESPN, Fox Sports, we all know that we got Celtics at 5 or 6K. But game one at TD Garden, the Celtics almost let a stinker, okay? And I saw a topic on ESPN today. The question on this video is, was this a Celtics win or a Pacers loss? And the answer is unequivocally a Pacers loss. The Pacers were up 3 with 10 seconds left. They had the ball. They turned the ball over on an inbound pass. I forgot who the guy who threw the name, who the guy's name is. He's one of the role players. I think he was making baskets. I can't remember the guy's name. Yeah, the guy's name was Nimhart. I think it was Nimhart. Inbounds the ball to Pascal Siakam. Jaylen Brown was defending, and I guess Siakam thought it was off of him, but Siakam ended up going after the ball, trying to save it, and it caused the Celtics to get the ball back with around 7 seconds left. And the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, they get the ball back. And on the inbound, Jaylen Brown stuck in the corner. And he jacks up a three. Siakam didn't want to contest because obviously he didn't want to give a 4-point play. And then the Celtics bang it. And I cannot remember if the Pacers had a timeout or not. And I think they may have challenged something. I cannot remember. But they didn't advance the ball. Rick Carlisle came out and said he should have advanced the ball. So I think they may have had a timeout. Didn't use it. Halliburton jacks up a stupid shot. But the events leading up to that, careless turnovers. I think they had 20 plus turnovers last night. I think as a whole, the Pacers had 21 turnovers. I know it was 20 plus. They had 21 turnovers. It's terrible. Terrible basketball. When the game crunch time was open, I remember Halliburton had the ball. They were up 3. They might have been up 5, actually. They were up 3 or 5. Halliburton's guarded by Drew Holiday. He dribbles the ball out of bounds. He done it twice, mind you. He lost his handle twice. Lockdown defense. The Pacers, all they had to do was get the ball on the offside of the floor. Hey, even throw it on the other end of the court. You were up 10. You were up 3 with 10 minutes left. And you lose the ball game. I don't understand how that happens. Rick Carlisle should have called a timeout. I think he did have it. Call a timeout. Get the guys together. Get a good play in. Get the play in. Do not turn the ball over. Get the ball on the other end of the court. Boom. Mad Dog brought it up today. It's happened plenty of times in NBA history, but where the ball is deflected on the other end of the court, they get the ball back on that side of the court, bam, tie the ball game. And the other team, that's a deflator. But the Pacers lost this game with their turnovers and careless. Late game crunch time moments came back to bite them in the tail. The butthole got tight. That's all. Halliburton couldn't control the moment. Lost his handle, turned over the ball. Nimhart, inbound pass, turned over the ball. Jaylen Brown hit a lucky shot. Was it a good shot? Was it a high percentage shot? Absolutely not. And LeBron came out on Twitter and said that is exactly why I foul up 3 with a few seconds left in the game. Rick Carlisle knew they should have came out with a win this game. Because that game would have been big for the Pacers. The Pacers would have been coming out of this game last night with a dub, game 1, and have control of the home court. That's huge in this series. Because the Pacers is favored by the Celtics are favored to win by 6 games. 5 at the least. So Halliburton and the Pacers coming off the game that Miles Turner was having. Miles Turner was having a game last night, literally. I'll read you the stats here. Miles Turner had 23 points, 9 of 13 shooting, 3 of 4 from the 3-point line. I mean, he played fantastic last night. Everybody in the starting lineup was in double digits. Halliburton had 25. Siakam had 24. Neesmith had 14. Miles Turner had 23. McConnell had 13 off the bench. Obi Toppin had 15 off the bench. You just can't get better production. You're not going to get better production like that on the road at the Garden. Sorry, at TD Garden, not the Mecca of basketball, the Garden, at TD Garden, at the Botanical. I like to call it the Botanical Gardens because they are the Celtics. They're off of a 4-leaf clover. I call it the Botanical Garden. And the Pacers missed out on that shot to win that game. That's bad. That's bad for the Pacers. And is it horrendous? Shout out to Jason Tatum waking up, though, in the second game. But can we talk about the Celtics, man? I know the Pacers, they're a good ball club. They deserve to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot of people get shit on them because the Bucks weren't healthy. They didn't have Giannis. They didn't have Dame for a couple games. And obviously the Knicks got banged up by the time Game 7 came. They lost OG Anunoby in the second game. OG Anunoby was a no-show until Game 7 after Game 2. Josh Hart got an abdominal strain injury, and then Jalen Brunson fractured his hand mid-game, Game 7, had to be took out of the game. And even last night, they showed they deserve to be there by sticking foot with the Celtics. But my indictment on that is the Celtics are an overrated ball club. Can we just call it what it is? The team had the best record in the NBA, rightfully so. They played in the East. The Celtics just came out beginning of the season as knowing they were going to cruise to the NBA Finals. The West has been stacked. Everybody knows where I've been on the record saying whoever's coming out of the West is winning the NBA Finals. You just book it. I don't trust this team. I don't care if Porzingis has come back. I don't trust the Celtics. I saw the stat yesterday. The Celtics, altogether, including Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was there the year before Tatum. Jaylen Brown has been there for 8 years. They've been to the conference finals 6 of the 8 years that Jaylen Brown has been there. They have one finals appearance except for it. And they lost in that finals to Steph Curry in 2022. This is who the Boston Celtics are since Jaylen Brown's been there. Have they had different head coaches? Yes. I can't remember the guy's name. He's actually their GM right now. He's been, I think it's Brad Stevens. Yeah, Brad Stevens. He was there during that stint. And then Ime Udoka was there until he got convicted of things with his significant other. And then he got fired out of that job. And now they got Joe Mazzulla, who is a terrible head coach, in my opinion. I think if Ime Udoka was still there, they'd probably be winning a championship by now. Joe Mazzulla's not. Their offense is horrible. Horrible. But the Celtics are just a bad team. They're inconsistent. When the lights shine bright, I love Jason Tatum as a player. He does not come through when you need him most. Granted, last night he showed up in overtime, and I think he scored 8 points in overtime last night. But in the fourth quarter, when they needed him, he wasn't hitting the shot. I remember the last minute, Derek White, he put the layup up and he missed, and Jason Tatum takes a terrible step. He gets the rebound, takes a terrible 4-step back jumper when they were down 3. Tatum's just, when the moment gets thick and thin, Tatum he shrinks when the moment gets big. He just don't have that it factor about him. He don't have the want. I don't think he wants to make that shot. He looks timid. Even the shot, when I said he faded away, he looked timid in the face shooting that shot. I just don't like Boston. I've never been a big fan of Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's a great player. I just think him and Tatum together, for me, they don't work. You got two ball dominant guys playing the 3 and the 2. Depending on the lineup, maybe the 4 and the 3. And then you got role players around you. Is that a good formula for success? Yes. Drew Holiday, fantastic role player. If I had to build my team, I would pick Drew Holiday to be my point guard. If I didn't have a la Steph Curry or somebody, or the John Morant or the point guard. But if I had like a Kevin Durant type player or Anthony Edwards, I would have Drew Holiday running my point guard. Easily. Porzingis is a good role player. Al Horford's been a good role player for them. Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench has been a good role player. Derek White has been a good role player. Now he's having to be in the start lineup at the moment, but I've never been a fan of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum playing together. I never have. I think Tatum, the reason why Boston's offense is so bad that they don't have a facilitator. I love Drew Holiday. He's not that much of a facilitator. Derek White can't facilitate. I saw him yesterday. They run a bunch of screen and pick and rolls and hope and praying somebody gets open. Tatum would benefit off of a facilitator like a Kyrie type facilitator. Even the facilitation of a big like Jokic. I mean, granted, not everybody. There's no big that can pass like Jokic. I don't think Jokic is probably going to end up being on top 3 passers that ever played the game. We're talking about John Stockton, Magic Johnson type passing. Okay. I just think Tatum would benefit more if Tatum had a good bona fide facilitator at the guard position and elite big play. I just don't. I've never been a fan of Jaylen Brown and Tatum playing together, and it shows. It shows in the big moments in the playoffs because you don't know how to get. Granted, Jaylen Brown when Tatum didn't show up, he hit that big shot. But in this finals, if they played an elite ball club with the good defense, like they will play in the finals, which they should get there, they're going to have issues. Because if both of them's off, which 9 times out of 10 they are a lot of the times, they have nobody to resort to. I just don't like Boston. I think they're overrated. I think Tatum, I wouldn't say Tatum is overrated, but he's a little overhyped to what his potential. I think Tatum reached his ceiling. Can Tatum win a championship one day? Absolutely, but he's never going to live up to the Kevin Durant's and the LeBron James of the world. He's just not. He's not on that type of level. Is he probably going to be a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. And like I said about Jaylen Brown, I love Jaylen Brown. He's reached his ceiling too. I don't think he's like I said, he's not the LeBron James, D Wade shooting guard, Michael Jordans, and the Kobe's and the Tracy. He may be a Tracy McGrady type guy, maybe like a Tracy McGrady type player. I don't know. You could say that, but like I said, I just don't like I didn't like the idea of Jaylen Brown signing that contract this past offseason. It was either this offseason or the offseason before. I think it was just this past offseason signing that max deal. I wasn't a fan of it, and evidently Brad Stevens is the GM. It's going to show It's going to show after this series is over. When they get to the finals and they get booted out by whoever's in the West, it's going to show that the Celtics is going to underachieve yet again because they've been the best team in the East, the weak East, since 2018 because the East hasn't been good compared to the West. And they're not going to have championships to show for it. The Celtics haven't won a championship since 2008. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Cavs has won championships then. Miami's won a couple. The Raptors has won one. That's it. Them has been your last title winners. I think the Heat's won 2. The Raptors was won 1. And the Bucks has won 1. And the Cavs has won 1. Those have been your last champions out of the East. The Celtics is a historic franchise. They got to get the job done. If they are going to do what they need to do with this in order for this Jason Tatum and the Jaylen Brown tandem to work, with this loaded roster they have to do the deal. It's championship or bust this year. For the legacy of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Tatum needs a championship. With the pedigree going on in the East, he needs this championship. Easily. But, in my opinion, like I said, the Celtics is overrated. I'm sorry. I would not be surprised if this series goes 6, possibly 7. After what happened last night, I know, and historically, this playoffs, the Celtics has been terrible in Game 2. Terrible. So I would be surprised tomorrow night if they get booted, if they get dog stomped. And then you get the Pacers with their home crowd. The chance to go back home and possibly win maybe 1 or 2 games. And the series kind of somewhat be tied going back to the Game 5 at TD Garden. I don't know if you'll like that there, bud, Celtics fans. I'm sorry. The Celtics ain't been tested. That's been the going rate about this whole playoff scenario. The Celtics just ain't been tested. The Celtics ain't been good enough. They ain't been tested by a good enough opponent. And it's going to show in the finals. So is there doomsday coming? Absolutely, you can bet it. Sorry, Celtics fans, Jason Tatum fans, Jaylen Brown fans. It's going to happen. If they get out of the series, they're going to get dog stomped by whoever's in the West. They're just too inconsistent. They're not the best offensively. Defensively, they're okay. They do enough to get by. But that's all I had to say about that game. I have this series going at least 6. I got Celtics at 6. But I have no doubt in my mind that the Celtics is going to get dog stomped when the finals start. But if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy what I said about the Celtics and the NBA in general, I'd love to give you some more content about this finals, this conference matchup in the future. But if you will, leave a like, comment, and subscribe on this video for more. And as always, peace, love, and positivity always, baby. See you.